TGIF, thank God it's Friday. So, my dear Toastmasters of District 82, I welcome you for yet another episode of an Pathways educational program. And today we will have two presenters who will be speaking to you, who will give you basics, who will train you on basics of pathways. So we will cover about introduction to pathways, and also we will cover on enrollment to pathways. So today agenda will be like that. So first, let me introduce the first presenter today. She is a teacher by profession, past president of Lyceum Nugegoda Toastmasters Club, past area director, currently serving as the DCP chair of District 82. She has completed two parts already. They are leadership development and presentation mastery. Currently, she is doing her DTM project in Pathways. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Toastmaster Lasni. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first Pathways session, which is organized by the Program Quality Team of District 82. And we are here today to help you go on this journey of pathways. So it's a new journey for all of us, even though Hinston did say that I have finished two parts. I always learn something new at every point, and I'm sure it's the same for every single one of us here today. Instant, Kasun, all of us here today. Right. So my job today is to just to give you a small introduction about pathways, or what is pathways all about? Why pathways? So I'm sure you would have heard a lot about the introduction to pathways, but let's just refresh everything that we know once again. So as you all know, in the year 2017, Toastmasters launched the Toastmasters Pathway Learning Experience. And this was part of a decision by the Board of Directors in the year 2010 when they wanted to revitalize the entire education program of Toastmasters. And this was the first time that the Toastmasters education program was redesigned since the organization was founded in the year 1924. So that was a long time coming, and I think the change is good. Change is scary, but change is always good. They call it the most ambitious education program in the organization's entire history. It's the new education program and the only education program currently, where we were balancing two education programs in the year 2019-20, but from July 2020, this is the only and the new education program for all of us Toastmasters. And the beauty of this entire program is that it is tailor-made to your personal and your professional goals. It focuses on leadership learning, competencies that have immediate real-world applicability and online accessibility. So as you are aware, those days, the traditional path, we had a communication track and we had a leadership track, two separately. But now, in this whole pathways learning experience, both the communication track and the leadership track are together, and that gives a more holistic experience to all of us as members. And just as Ralph Smedley realized, communication and leadership are inextricably linked. And in this new education program, they are no longer separate tracks, but are combined. And anyone here who has actually even started or even just gone through or researched on this whole pathways experience may have realized it as well. Now, from its review and analysis of the old traditional path, paired with the leadership experience, they looked at the communication track and the leadership track. And when the Toastmasters International was actually reviewing and analyzing what can be done to revitalize this entire program, this team identified that there are 5 core competencies that members really want to develop in, and that is what they are mostly focused on. So this entire program, this entire pathways learning experience is based on 5 core competencies: public speaking, interpersonal communication, leading and managing, leading strategically, and building confidence. And all these 5 core competencies are embedded in 11 parts. Some may have 4, some may have 4 of the 5 competencies, some may have 1 or 2, but one common core competency is the confidence building competence. So this is the core competencies is what the parts are, what is embedded in the parts. And these 11 parts that you get to choose from depending on your need here gives you an opportunity to build up to 300 unique skills and competencies. The opportunity to develop many skills relevant to an evolving global marketplace. And I can vouch for that whatever I have learned in this short time in Pathways has been a great help for me personally in my personal and professional life as well. And if you speak to anyone who is really involved in this program, who is really in the core of this program, they will definitely tell you the same as well. So I said that there were 11 different paths, right? So when you look at the 11 different paths, there are 11 because I told you that this is tailor-made for you, custom-made for your needs. What are the skills you want to develop? What are the skills you need to work on? Or maybe skills you never had that you want to have right now. So dynamic leadership is a pathway that is for an effective leader and an effective communicator. It has projects such as how to resolve conflicts and skills that will help you become an effective leader. Engaging humor, it may be something that you're lacking. Personally, humor is not my forte, and that is a path that I would like to explore in the future as well. So this is the engaging humor path is all about how to develop your skills as a humorous speaker. What are your strengths and what is lacking? And that way you will be able to become a good humorous speaker in a way that you can engage with your audience as well. So 11 different paths that I will be going into detail a little bit later on with you to show you what are the different competencies that you will be able to build with each of these parts, as well as what are the core competencies, what of the 5 core competencies are part of each of these parts. Because sometimes we just look at the surface of all of this, and sometimes even though we are recommended certain paths, we may not still be very sure whether this is what is really for us. So it's good to do your research. It's good to know what you're getting yourself into, as well as what other options are open for you. You get to choose one path as you join Toastmasters. So as a new member or even as an existing member, since we all have to switch to this new learning experience, we all get to choose one path. Now, each of these paths are divided into 5 different levels. And as you keep going, the complexity of the levels and your learning increases. So level 1 is common to every single path. So the projects in level 1 is there in every single path, that in all 11 paths. So that is basically level 1 is about mastering the fundamentals of public speaking. So like in your CC manual that we would have had, we have the icebreaker where you just get used to coming up and standing in front of an audience and speaking. And then you learn the basics of giving feedback and receiving feedback, and the basics of how to research on a topic, how to choose the correct information that will engage the audience, and how to present it to the audience in an engaging way. So that is your mastering of your fundamentals. And as you keep going from level 2 to level 3 to level 4 to level 5, what path you have chosen, you will keep stepping up and using everything that you learned in your previous path to developing a greater experience by the time you come to level 5. And if you keep going in order and you really engage yourself with everything that this program has to offer you, you will definitely see the difference. Because I know so many, let's say, Toastmasters who have been in the fraternity for a very long time. They were very much apprehensive about this whole new system. They were not very happy about the transition from the traditional path to the new pathways. But as they started immersing themselves into pathways, they realized the capacity, they realized how much it has to offer. So unless you really get into it, you really don't benefit from the entire system. So don't let, it may look confusing, it may look complicated, but don't let that stop you. We are all here together, and that is why instead of just having one single session with a crash course on pathways, we are breaking it down for you section by section, starting from the most important, starting from the basic. Right? Okay, so this is the levels that you will be going ahead or completing as you embark on your journey, as you embark on your path, and as you embark on your as a Toastmaster in your journey. Now, like I said earlier, there may be those who are from the traditional path. Maybe you have completed all your projects. There may be members in your club who are still apprehensive about logging in, about enrolling, about starting on pathways. So why pathways? Is it really valuable? Is there actually something to it? So one of the most important things that the most beneficial or the biggest advantage, I would say, of the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience is that it is personalized. As you will see in the next session, when you have to enroll, you are not just given a path, you are asked specific questions. You are asked what your needs are. What do you want to learn? What are you good at? What are you not good at? What do you think you need to work on? And depending on all your answers or your needs, may it be in your personal life choices or your professional life, all those questions will answer and recommend a personalized path that will suit you, that will help you. So you will not be just doing any communication track or any leadership track that is alien to you or that you have no connection to. So it is a personalized education program for you. And like I said before, it's relevant. All the skills that you learn in your projects, may it be from starting from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4, every single project has a skill, has a competency for you to learn, something for you to take home. And that is relevant to your personal professional life, and it is transferable. And you will realize that it may not be very prominent sometimes. It may be something as small as time management. For example, when you start your icebreaker, you are supposed to put in your entire life into 4 to 6 minutes. And that small speech helps you to decide on what is the most important parts of structuring a speech. You're keeping to time. And those are small things that we need to train ourselves in. And you will notice that as you keep going, you will see yourself in your workplace doing the same, keeping to time, respecting the time limits that you are given. So if I take myself as an example, when it comes to the second project in level 1, you have about receiving feedback and giving feedback. So as a teacher by profession, you know that we do have to give feedback to our students all the time. But the techniques of giving feedback, the techniques of giving evaluations at a Toastmasters meeting as speeches, I have been able to actually put in to my professional life as well. Because now, instead of as when we were in school, only the teachers would just keep saying bad things about all of us, right? But now I realize that, our whole sandwich method, or, say the good, then the recommendations. And these are just small things that I am able to apply. And if I am given an opportunity to speak, I have the ability to be able to concise the information, to stick to the time limits, and to respect other people's time, because time is very important. And the most, it's accessible to anyone, anywhere, anytime. It's online. So this gives the mobile accessibility as well. So wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you can really get into your learning. And because it's online, you have a lot more resources available for you. And this is when, if in all of your project manuals that are, when you activate your projects, you will get to know that later on, you will realize there are quizzes, there are online quizzes, there are interactive different videos that you can learn the skills from. For example, if it's about moderating a panel discussion, uh, your base camp will have a video where they will have a mock panel discussion, and they will ask you to pause the video and will ask you to select correct answers. And that is there for a lot of the projects. So it's very interactive and it's online. So therefore you can access it anytime and anywhere. This session, it said to enroll for pathways. So that is because we want you to start your journey today, to start your Toastmasters Pathways learning experience, and for you to experience all the advantages, all the valuable skills, all the valuable competencies that I was able to learn in my journey in Pathways. And also, even as club presidents or club vice presidents of education, it is important for you to know what Pathways is all about. How do you navigate in your base camp or your website? And this is why we have these sessions for you to start your journey today. And like I said, Toastmasters doesn't just throw you into the deep end with a new education program with nothing. It gives you ample of resources for you to study, for you to research. So like I said before, it's all about the 5 main competencies and the 11 paths. So if you see this document, it's available on the Toastmasters International website, as well as you can just Google it as paths and core competencies, and you will see here the 5 core competencies that this entire program, that is embedded in this entire program, as well as each path and which core competency is embedded in which path. But as you can see, confidence is unique to all 11 paths. So as it says here, Confidence is unique because it cannot be taught, but it's gained in every single path. Even starting from your icebreaker to when you're doing your DTM project, it is important. So this then goes on, this same document has paths, levels, and the projects. So you have a small description of each path, the projects that will be covered in each of the levels, including the electives. So if you look at each path, in all 5 levels, you will be completing a total of 14 projects. 10 compulsory projects and 4 electives. So you have to just, if you can see in this level 3, out of all these projects, you just need to choose 2, right? So this document covers all the different parts, the levels, and the projects. So there's another part, there's another document. This document, again, is available on Toastmasters International, and it's about the pathways competencies by each path. So we spoke about how this entire program gives you the opportunity to build over 300 different competencies. And this document takes you through each one of the projects in each level and what are the different competencies you will learn from the project. So as you can see, if you look at dynamic leadership, in level 1, the icebreaker, it shows that you gives you the ability to recognize the elements of a basic speech structure, to balance preparation, and then it demonstrates self-confidence, identify your communication and leadership styles. So as you can see, one project and the different skills that you will learn, the different competencies. So the learning in each level is immense. So just imagine the learning in an entire pathway. So make use of these resources, go through it, really study it, and you will understand the essence of what pathways is all about and how important pathways really is. And I will now hand over back to Hingston to introduce our next presenter that will help you go your next step in your pathways journey. Over to you, Hingston.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lasni, for your presentation. Obviously, I'm sure our members would have got a basic idea what is pathways and what are the core competencies that we can learn about. And at this moment, I would like to recognize the presence of our program quality director of District 82, Distinguished Toastmaster, Sriyanti Salgado. Thank you. I'm still seeing the responses. Thank you. I'm really happy that you are actively participating at this Pathways Education Program. Friends, now that we got to know the basics of pathways, now let's go to the practical session. And in order to conduct the practical session and in order to show you on how to enroll in pathways in a more of a practical way, we have an expert. And this individual is working as a associate consultant at Virtusa. He is the president of Virtusa Colombo Toastmasters Club. He has done several trainings on Pathways educational program, especially during the last Toastmasters year. He has already completed effective coaching path in Pathways education program, and currently he is in his second path. Ladies and gentlemen, please give your applause to Toastmaster Kasun Ilangaratna. Toastmaster Kasun, the screen is all yours.
Thank you so much, DTM Hingston, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you also to Toastmaster Lasni for setting the stage and giving all our participants a lovely introduction to the Pathways educational program. So as distinguished Toastmaster Hingston already mentioned to everyone in the audience, what we are going to do now is we are going to go through a step-by-step practical approach of how we are going to enroll into a pathway. So to do that, we have got a new member with us, Toastmaster Sahan, who has not yet enrolled in a pathway, but who is going to do so in the next few minutes, who will be sharing his screen with us, and we will be guiding you through the enrollment process. And if you have not enrolled in a pathway, you can also follow along with us and you can do the enrollment process at the same time as we are doing it now. So first of all, what you will need to do is you will need to go into the Toastmasters website. So to do that, you just need to open up your Google Chrome or whatever other browser, and you type here in the search bar toastmasters.org, and that is going to take you straight into the Toastmasters webpage. Now, once you have come here, you will need to log in. So to log in, you have this button here asking you to log in. And the first time that you're logging in, you will not know your password. So for that, you need to click on this forgot password option, and it will send an email to your email account with a password that you can use to log in, and then set the password for your future use. So now let's log in. Now that we have logged in, there is more resources that are being available to us as members who are signed into the Toastmasters website. So one way that we can begin our progress in the pathways system is by clicking here on this pathways link, and then that's going to give us a drop down, and then we can click here on this choose a path option for us to choose our very first path. And if you don't like the way that I showed you just now, you can also always, wherever you're on the website, you can click on this welcome button, and that's going to take you into your profile page. And from this screen also, you have the option to click on choose a path option. Let me go back and show you from the other way also how you come into the screen. You click on choose a path from here. You see these 2 or 3 boxes, and then you can click here on this continue to path selection button, and that is going to take you into your path selection options. So now on this screen, the first thing you will notice is that it's asking you to select what is the language that you want to do your pathways in. So in Sri Lanka, I believe most, if not all, of the Toastmasters are going to be selecting the English option. And then the next option is, would you like to do it as a printed version, or would you like to do it as an online version? So we always recommend to go with the online version for all of the numerous advantages that Toastmaster Lasni covered earlier. So I'm going to continue on with the digital online pathway. So to do that, you can select this button, and once it lights up in blue color, that means that your selection has been made. And then next you will see that when you want to actually select your path, as a new member, you are given 3 options from which you can choose. So your first option is you can select the presentation mastery path. So this is the this is one of the 11 pathways that Toastmaster Lasni showed you all earlier. So if you like to, you can select this path straight off. To do that, you will need to click on this select presentation mastery button. And then once it's in blue, once it's highlighted, that means that this option has been selected for you. We have another option saying view all path options. So in this view all path options, you will go to a screen with all 11 paths that are available to you. And you can select from those 11 pathways, whatever the pathway that you like. So if you want to go with this, again, you just need to click here. And once you see that it's highlighted, that means that this is the option you have selected. And your third option is you can take an online assessment. So this is the quiz that Toastmaster Lasni mentioned, that we will get a small assessment that we can go through. And based on the answers that you give, based on your suggestions to the questions that they are asking you for your personal opinions, it is going to recommend 3 paths from which you can choose anything that you like. So I will show you this third option first of all, and how it works. So once we click on this take assessment, and we can click on the continue button, and then that's going to open a small pop-up, and I'm going to start this questionnaire, and I will select answers at random, of course, for right now. But when you are doing it, please do pay attention to the questions and what they're asking you, and select the relevant answers for yourself. In this way, it's going to go through several of the several other questions like this. And then once you arrive at the last one, it will be asked to submit all the answers you have given here. From this next button is going to become a submit button on the last question. And once you have done that, it's going to navigate you to a screen. So now you will see again all the 11 pathways are listed out for you. And you can see that the presentation mastery was the which was the part that was on previous screen also, that has the recommended tag next to it. So Toastmasters International is recommending this path for the new members who are interested in the communication and public skills development. And if you were to do the questionnaire, if you were to do that third option that was on the previous screen, then on clicking the submit button, you will arrive at this very same page, but there's one difference. And that difference is that instead of the recommended tag appearing next to the presentation mastery path, it's going to appear on 3 of the 11 pathways that are available to you. And that recommended tag is going to be appearing on 3 of those pathways based on the answers to the questions that you gave when you were doing that questionnaire. So it's going to consider all your feedback, all your personal choices, and it's going to compare it with what each path is offering, what competencies each pathway is going to help you to build up, and it's going to recommend 3 of those pathways for you. You can click on any one of these pathways to lock in your choice, or if you're not happy, if you're not sure how to make the choice simply from reading the name of the pathway, the first thing you can refer is this small description that you have next to each pathway. So for the presentation mastery pathway, what it's telling you is that by selecting this path, you can build your skills as an accomplished public speaker. And you have similar descriptions for each of the 11 pathways that you can use to make your choice. But if you're not happy with the description that is given here for you, you can click on this plus icon that is given with each of the pathways, and that is going to give you even more information that will help you to make your choice about what pathway you want to use. So this is a little more in-depth than what you have up here on this little bit. So you can read this also for each of the pathways before making your choice. And if even this is still not enough for you, you have this option to view all the projects in this path. So again, for the presentation mastery, it's giving you even more in-depth details about what are the projects that you need to do if you were to select that pathway. So here I can see that these are the recommended projects or the compulsory projects that I need to do if I were to select this pathway. And then in level 3, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it's grouped all the projects here. And I can see what are the elective projects that I need to do for level 3, for example. So I'll just click here and it tells me that I only need to select 2 of the following. So again, this information is available even on the PDF document that Toastmaster Lasni showed us earlier. So even from here, you can access all that same information if you want to. And once you're happy with your choice, you can lock in whatever the pathway that you have selected, whatever the pathway that you're comfortable with. So earlier on in the day, we spoke with Toastmaster Sahan, and Toastmaster Sahan told us that at the time his choice was to go with effective coaching pathway. So Toastmaster Sahan, if you're there, can we get a confirmation from you that this is the pathway that you want to go ahead with? So I will select the effective coaching pathway, and now we will click on the continue button, and it's going to ask me to confirm my choice once again. So now at this point, once I have clicked on the continue button, it's going to lock in my choice here. And the effective coaching pathway is going to be activated for Toastmaster Sahan. So now the next question is, now I have selected my pathway. Where am I going to find all the documents, all the resources that are there for me to complete the projects inside my path? So to find those resources, again, there are 2 ways in which you can do that. One is by clicking on this pathways button here, and then you can click on go to Basecamp. So that is one way in which you can find the path resources for the path that you have selected. And now that we are here, this you can select. So you can select this go to Basecamp button, and that will take you inside the Pathways homepage that is going to have all your documents. Again, if you don't like navigating to this page in the way that I showed you, you can click up here on this welcome button, and there is an option from which you can go to your Pathways Basecamp from here as well. That is over here. You have this go to Basecamp block, and you can click on the go button, and that's going to take you to Basecamp as well. So you need to disable the pop-up blocker for opening projects in the Google Chrome browser. So I'll show how we can do that as well, I suppose. But for the moment, let's just concentrate on this homepage and a few of the elements that are available on the Pathways homepage. So first, and I believe most importantly, is the Paths and Learning Education Transcript button. So once you click here, you will be directed inside all the educational resources that have been made available to you based on the pathway that you have selected. So now you will see that over here we have this effective coaching uh, that has been registered for Toastmasters Sahan. So if you have just selected your pathway, and if you do not see it on the screen, don't panic. Sometimes it takes a few minutes for the system to synchronize with your choice. So just reload the page after a few minutes and you will see whatever the pathway you have selected over here. So if you found your pathway, you can click on the open curriculum. And as we covered previously, we have again up here, we have the path description over here. And we have all the projects that are grouped by the five levels that we can go through. And since we are starting with level 1, I will also open up the level 1 projects from here. I will click on the view details to do that. And now you can see you have your level 1 projects ready for you to open it and launch it. So to do that, you will need to click on the activate, and then you can launch your projects after you have activated it from here. What happens after we complete our speech project? So we'll need to save our evaluation form somewhere. The Toastmasters International team has already thought about this as well. So they've provided a place within the Basecamp itself for us to save our pathways evaluation sheets. So to do that, again on the pathways homepage. So on the pathways homepage, you will see here you have a section called My Documents. So you can go into the My Documents, and it's going to be grouped. You will have a few folders that will appear for you. So again, since we have just selected the path, it's still synchronizing over here. So this is my on screen right now. So this is what the My Documents folder would look like after we have synchronized fully with the Pathways website. You can click here, for example, inside level 1, and you have this add file button, and you can save your evaluation sheets as PDFs or as images or whatever it is, and you can click on the add file here and upload them. So you will have all your evaluation sheets in one easy, convenient, and safe place for you to access whenever you want to. So there is no risk of losing all those papers anymore if you are uploading it over here. Then how do we track the roles that we have done, for example? So to do that, we need to click on this gear icon over here on the top right section of our screen, and we can click on the My Account section. And Toastmasters International has provided us with a way to track the roles that we have completed in pathways. So for example, if you have done a counter at a very recent meeting, you can click on this date picker over here. You can select whatever the relevant date, and then you can come down here and save all the data, and it's going to be saved in over here. If you like to, you can also select a signature for a digital signature. So any of these is available to you. You can set the time zone for the whatever the time zone that you're in. You can set it so that your page can be synchronized with your local time. And you can even upload a profile picture to your Basecamp. So you can click over here, select the change button, and you will be able to select any picture to set as your profile picture that you like. So to recap, What we covered just now was the different ways in which you can log into Basecamp, how you can select your pathway, and how you find the resources that become activated after you select your pathway, and how you will save your evaluation sheets into the pathways website, and how you can save the dates of your doing the roles and select setting profile pictures and a digital signature. So back to you, distinguished Toastmaster Hingston, and I hope you enjoyed the practical session as well.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kasun Nilangaratna. I'm sure our members have got the practical idea about how to navigate through the base camp, which is one of the basics. As the clock ticked 8:30 p.m., we are here to wind up this session. With that note, I would like to thank Toastmaster Mayuri from Virtusa Colombo Toastmasters Club, who did a wonderful job as a Zoom master today. I would like to thank the panelists, Toastmaster Lasni, the DCP chair, Toastmaster Kasun, the president of Virtusa Colombo Toastmasters Club, who helped us. And also, I would like to thank the program quality director of District 82, distinguished Toastmaster Sriyanti Salgado, for all the guidance and support. And most importantly, I would like to thank the district public relations manager and his team, public relations manager DTM Mafasi Farm and his team, for the assistance with the Zoom webinar platform. And to all my dear members, Pathways is not a rocket science. You don't need to go and research a lot, but you need to invest some time to study about it and do these projects. It is not for someone else's development, it is for your own improvement, and it is for your own development. So friends, see you soon. Thank God it's Friday. You have some more hours to enjoy this Friday evening. Thank you and have a great weekend.